Money. It affects our everyday life. But how do we make more of it? Manage it. And make sure we make the most of our money. Welcome to Money Mindful, a podcast to teach and support you as you learn to manage your money.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of the Money Mindful podcast. I am your host, Meaghan. Did you listen to last week's episode with Sandra? I hope you did. This month, there is a bit of a theme to the episodes. Last week, Sandra shared with us her investment strategies and how her main form of investments are in equities, invested through the share market. Next week, I am thrilled to bring you Andrew Hallam, author of The Millionaire Teacher. He too invests heavily in the stock market and shares his wisdom and expertise on the subject. And of course, if you're listening to this in current time, you will know that we are reading Andrew's book this month in book club. If you've only just discovered the podcast and you are listening at some date in the future, every month we study a book on money or mindset in the Money Mindful Book Club. You can find out all about it by going to the Money Mindful website. There you will also find pages for the previous books we've studied with accompanying book club meeting recordings, as well as any podcast episodes or links to the authors that we have covered. So I'm really excited to be sharing all this information with you about shares, because I know that there's quite a few of you who are really interested in this but don't necessarily know where to begin, and overwhelm is a common theme when it comes to starting something new, that we don't know what to do or where to start. So hopefully this month will iron some of that out for you. Okay, I don't know about you, but I find often when I'm learning about something or want to do something, I think about it for a really long time. I weigh up all my options. I ponder what the best thing is to do. Sometimes I think it is for so long I don't even end up doing what I'm thinking about. Do you ever do this? Like, how long have you been thinking about investing in shares? I'm just curious. How long have you thought about setting up an emergency fund, right? But then you haven't done it yet because you're still deciding what account is best for your emergency savings. Or you haven't started investing in shares yet because you haven't decided what book to learn about it from, or which online course to do, or maybe you don't know where to start. Does this sound familiar? And let's not even get started on when we try to decide what color knit is best for us this winter, yeah? Like, should we get the grey or the cream knit, plain or cable? As humans, we waste a lot of time in indecision. Come on, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're at a restaurant and you wait for the very last person to order so you can check what everyone else is getting to make sure you get the best option. I see you. I know you do this because I used to do it all the time too. And now you're doing it with money. You want to invest, but you don't know where you should start. Do you pay your debt off first, or do you create your emergency fund? Should you invest in a property or buy your own home first? The truth is, the best thing to do is exactly what you decide to do. Decisions make our life. There is unbelievable power in making decisions. Let me teach you how. Everything you have in your life now is a result of decisions you have made. The outfit you are wearing right now, the car you are driving, the house you live in, what you ate for breakfast, your current weight, your bank balance, these are all a result of decisions that you have made. Whether you have shares or don't have shares, whether you have forms of passive income or don't have forms of passive income. Now, you might argue, but I just go with the flow. I let the universe work it out. That's a decision. You choose to go with the flow. Everything you do is a decision, whether you do it consciously or not. Not making a decision is a decision. Now, here is the thing I want to tell you that I want you to really hear this. Decisions move us forward in life. Decisions create results, actions and non-actions. Why am I telling you this? Because so many of us are afraid to make decisions. We are afraid of making the wrong decision. And we sit in confusion for what can sometimes seem like an eternity. Should I read The Barefoot Investor next? Or should I get a book on shares? Or maybe I should just really concentrate on work at the moment. This new project is really important. But I do want to get better at managing my money. I don't even know where to start. Everyone has read The Barefoot Investor. Maybe I should get a book by a woman author instead. Come on. This is the kind of crazy shit we play out in our heads. We spin in indecision and end up doing nothing, which, by the way, is a decision. So, what's wrong with not making a decision? Why is making a decision so important? When we stay in indecision, nothing happens. We stay exactly the same. This is why our brain pulls these shenanigans on us, because we don't want to make a decision. We stay put in the cave, so to speak. We stay safe. But that's not how we want to live our lives, yeah? If you want to get ahead in life, make a change, set a goal, and actually reach it, this involves making decisions. There are no wrong decisions. Hang on a minute, Meaghan. Say what? Here is the decision-making process. It looks like this. You make a decision. You back yourself. You decide you made the right decision. Then you learn from that decision. It's that simple. You decide to get The Barefoot Investor. You love it. You read it cover to cover. You rave about it to all your friends. You do exactly what he says and make all these changes to your money situation. Or you decide to get The Barefoot Investor. You read the first couple of pages. You decide it's not what you thought it would be. So you put down the book. You learn that Scott Pape isn't the right teacher for you. Period. Either way, you have moved forward. Do you see how powerful this is? We get so hung up on having to make the right decision. We don't want to get it wrong. But we don't learn what is the right way until we try it. You don't know that Scott Pape's book, The Barefoot Investor, isn't for you until you read it and find out. Or you don't know if it's going to be the best book on money management you've ever read until you read it and find out. Making decisions will propel you forward. Try it. Let me go over the process again. You make a decision. You back your decision 100%. You do not indulge in self-doubt, or what my coach so lovingly calls my pile of shit I like to roll around in. You do not question whether or not you made the right decision. Do you know how to tell what is the right decision? It's easy. It's the decision you made. There are no wrong decisions. What? Seriously, I need you to really hear this. The right decision is the decision you made at the time. Once you have made a decision, you may discover later down the track that the decision didn't get you the result that you wanted or that you were expecting. Okay? No problem. You learn from that experience and move on to the next decision. It seems like an insignificant example, but I think the restaurant one is one most of us can relate to, so I'm going to go with that. What if you decided at the restaurant that you were going to get the salmon and chips, but then when it comes to the table, you discover that they don't do crispy skin, and the chips were more like wedges, and the salad wasn't even very big? Okay, no big deal. Now you know next time you go to that restaurant, you'll order something else. But what if the salmon had been the most amazing salmon you have ever had, and the chips were thin and crispy and the salad was a perfect mix of exactly what you love? You had no way of knowing until you decided and ordered. This is life, folks. And I can imagine you saying, but Meaghan, I don't want to eat salmon that doesn't have crispy skin. You are not going to know this outcome or the result until you go ahead and make the decision. At restaurants, we eventually make a decision, right? Because we're forced to. There is literally a waiter there waiting to take our order. But in our own lives, there is no one waiting but ourselves. So we ruminate on a decision until we start going grey. Or worse, when we finally make a decision, we doubt ourselves. Well, I'm here to tell you, stop it. I know you're telling yourself you must make the right decision, but we can't predict the future. We can plan and take the action required to get the result we want, but we're not going to know if it will get us that result until we try. I want you to go to fantasy land for a minute with me, okay? And imagine what kind of person you would be and the result you would create in your life if you didn't waste so much time overindulging in confusion, also known as a form of indecision. What if you just made decisions quickly, backed yourself 100% and moved forward with your life? You're at the restaurant, you see two options you want, and then you pick one. Boom. You just decide you made the right choice. And then you move on. You have 100% attention to now engage with your companions and have a wonderful evening. Okay, granted, some decisions take a little bit of research. For example, you might be researching, like an insurance company or an index fund or something you want to invest in. I'm not suggesting you just see the first policy or fund and get it. There are some things that require, a bit of investigation, but set yourself a time limit or framework. Okay, I'm going to compare these 5 index funds on offer at Vanguard, and I'm going to pick the one that I will invest in by Thursday at 8 p.m. this week. Then do it. We indulge in so much drama in our heads about making decisions. Stop the drama, make a decision, back your decision. Decide that you have made the right decision. Move forward with your life. I know you are listening to this podcast because you want to make changes in your life. Maybe it's to do with money, but maybe it's to do with who you want to be as a person, the person that you want to grow into being. I help women change their lives. I coach women through the process to becoming who they want to be. You can request a consult with me by emailing me through the website. As always, if you want to stay in touch between episodes, you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. The handle is @Money Mindful Podcast. Make sure you're on the Money Mindful mailing list so you don't miss any of the happenings and the goings on with Money Mindful. Until next time, have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Money Mindful podcast. For more info, visit moneymindful.com.au. For future episodes, be sure to subscribe. And remember, the information in this podcast is of a general nature only and does not take into account your personal circumstances or goals. Please seek professional advice for your own financial needs. Remember to have fun along the way.